Oh, all right. So the second part to the gluttony, um, a little bit more livelier, I think. So gluttony, let's start this off. New Year's is coming the next couple days, 2 days, because tomorrow will be Wednesday. Please be safe. I given up drinking, but if you go out and you drink, be safe, be smart, have a drinking buddy. Don't just go out there by yourself and think you can just cut up and make it home safely. Remember, the cops are really going to be out, so you kind of have to play your cards right, be smart. Um, it doesn't make sense for you to not really ruin your life, but put your life in jeopardy just for one night when you have plenty of more of one night New Year's event coming up. So be smart and be good and have your fun. Have your fun while you're young, and if you're oldie but goodie, I hope you had plenty of it. Um, so I digress. So gluttony, um, the antithesis of gluttony, the opposition of gluttony, is having your self purpose. It's attaining through your purpose. Now, in the last one, I really spoke on gluttony in a matter of objectivity. Um, is it always going to be objectivity? No, gluttony in itself is it's not necessarily being a pig, but it's kind of like uh, it's kind of like a bottomless black hole. It's like where, like I said, it's having no ceiling for what you want. Um, and how does that play out without it being with materialistic? It plays out in relationships when you want your spouse to give you all their time and to give you're finding your identity living through them, taking more from them than what you were really giving, right? And it kind of shows itself in greed a little bit, right? Because that is a very greedy quality. But gluttony is not realizing what you are doing by trying to take more from another is actually hurting them. The hardest thing right now, I think, when it comes to relationships, or not right now, but probably in all of time, is realizing that the person that you're with also has a life. And how gluttony shows in that is you wanting everything from that person, but yet you're trying to take it and not really giving a definite rebuttal or a balancing point for giving back what you're taking, and that can be risky. There's a lot of men and women who probably been in a relationship for like a year or two, and they realize that when they got in a relationship, they're exactly where they were, you know, when they weren't in the relationship. And I am a person that is very high on, consistently trying to grow. In some part of your life you gotta consistently try to grow. Um, and you gotta realize the ceiling of where you're trying to grow. What is the antithesis of who you wish to be? You know, and that plays into gluttony very highly. It's great to have dreams. I said this before. It's great to have dreams, but if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a goal, if you don't have steps to get there, then it's really just putting on a wall, or it's really just a front. to be honest, it's just a front. And at that point, you're kind of more so being a coward. You're kind of more so putting yourself not necessarily back against the wall, but you're kind of not doing. You're going against yourself when you do that. You don't actually sit down and thinking all the way through and realize how close you really are to attaining what you want to attain. But like I said in the past, do not be fearful of that. Do not, do not allow sloth to set in where you get fearful of your own self. And so you decide not to move. Um, when it comes to gluttony, the way you beat gluttony is attaining a purpose. You gotta have your purpose, or you gotta have your why. You know, purpose shows itself in so many different ways, and so purpose will give you so many different strengths. Me myself, I spoke on this a little bit. My mother told me my purpose is to teach people how to love, or show people that they can be loved. Um, so when I say that, my purpose is very broad. I feel like now, all because my mother told me that, does that mean that's definitely my purpose? Probably not. But at this point of my life, and self-reflecting and everything like that, and sitting down and actually thinking about it, I think that has been my mission for years on end. And so yeah, it is a part of my purpose. And so how do I go about that? Well, there are goals, right? There are things that I have to do in order for me to share my love with others. Not necessarily share my love, because I can give love to anybody. But in order for me to show people that, somebody's actually thinking about you, or that somebody actually cares, or something like that, in truth, I have to be honest with myself. I will have to be more materialistic, because in truth, up to this point, or up to this year, to be honest, that has completely been out of my mind of being materialistic, of thinking about having more money in my bank so I can give more to people. I always thought the best thing you can give a person, and I still do to today, is to give your time, no matter how big or how much it is, whether it's a month or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, any time is valuable. Um, and it's the greatest currency in the world, second to health. Um, and and so you kind of have to realize what your purpose is, and not only that, but realizing your purpose will also give you a lot more strength. In today's society, it is so easy to want to just stay in bed and sleep it all off, and not really go about your day daily trying to dominate the day. Mostly trying to just go through the motions till you can get home, sit down and play the game. Um, and the sad thing is that's a lot of people, what a lot of people are going through. To be honest, yesterday I kind of went through that myself. Not necessarily where I wanted to sit down and just play the game, but I sat down and I was playing the game, and I looked outside, and the it just dawned on me like, man, this is really where my life is at this point, where I work at a school, so I'm on Christmas break. So instead of me just being out and about and doing things, I'm sitting inside playing the game when I have the rest of the world out there. So that's kind of that's kind of adding to my purpose, to give my love to the rest of the world. I got to get out there. I have to be a part of the world. No matter how big or how small, I need to be a part of it. And, you know, that what brought a fire in my belly. This morning, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but this morning, was it December 29th? This morning it was hard as heck to get up. It was, I don't know why I was so tired, but I was tired. I didn't even do nothing that much difference. But I was exhausted trying to get up this morning. The kind of reason why probably my voice sounds the way it is. But, it was hard to get up this morning. But I did it. I got my workout in. I even ran up to my gym about 3 miles, 3 miles back. So, I got it in. I got in my little work. And I felt good throughout the day, and I sat down and I did settle on my day. I did not dominate it completely. I sat down and I started getting on the game, and I allowed the game to take over my day, and I have to work on that. But I digress. You need people to know your purpose, not necessarily know it, but have a purpose in mind, and your purpose is not going to be your dream. I spoke on this earlier. My dream in wrestling was to be a national champion. I didn't accomplish that, and I accept that and I love it because it showed clarity that my purpose in wrestling maybe was not to become a champion, but I can build champions. It's not necessarily about me being able to walk into a room and be like, I'm a champ. Maybe it's me creating more champions and being able to walk into that room of champions and be like, for them to be like, it all started with him. Um, and I will love that. Um, and that builds on your purpose. You're gonna have times where, I guess I'm thankful that my purpose is to try and give love to all people that I come across. But you're gonna have times where things are gonna get ugly. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be saddening, and you're gonna be hurt, and you're gonna try and reach for things that will bring that fulfillment. And that is where gluttony kind of thrives, is when you're in that dark moment. Actually, yesterday I was in that dark moment, and it was a fasting day, and my gut was hurting me. And I just recently broke up with a great woman. um, hopefully she come back. But recently I had a heartache, and I was just yearning for her, yearning for her, yearning for her. And it just, something came over me. I was like, what, let me go eat. And so I went and got something to eat. And for that little 10 minute that I sat there eating, forgot all about the yearning. And, the gut didn't hurt too much. I was like, I'm good. And, but sooner or later it crept back in. And how does this work? That's how gluttony kind of gets its claws into you. You know what I mean? When things are dark, everybody's gonna try to look for a way to turn on the lights. Um, and sometimes it's gonna be that object that you might buy that will bring you that fulfillment. I know for myself, and I'm pretty sure for everybody. You go window shopping and you see an object and you're like, damn, I need that. I need that. If I can have that, my life would be different. If I had those shoes, you know how many women would walk up and say, you have some nice shoes? You know what I mean? It's that type of a mindset that's gonna drive you and drive the gluttony even wider, because you're going to go and get something for probably for one objective, and ask for compliments, or to make people envy you, which I never understood. I don't want no haters. I have enough haters in my life. I don't want any more. I'm good. um I'm good on that part. But Some people love that. You hear it in rap songs, you hear it in all different types of music, or people just having a conversation where they want their haters. And it's never really. If you want somebody to envy you, then you want somebody to kill you. Point blank. If you want somebody to envy you, then you want somebody to kill you. Because they will kill you with their hate, they'll kill you with their negative energy, and they'll kill you quite literally if it gets to that point. Um, and that's not a healthy thing. So it's not healthy to find yourself wanting objects for fulfillment for yourself, and not only fulfillment from yourself, but to bring about an envious energy from others, because it's not going to create what you really want. Um, if you want their eyes on you, then love them. They'll bring their eyes to you. Make sure they know that you're there for them as much as you are available for whatever time that you have to give to them. Um, but the important thing is, um, when you find your purpose, that you allow it to thrive through you, through and through, right? Um, all the way through. And you commit to your purpose, and you don't allow yourself to fall for the trap of attaining more earthly value rather than your purposeful value, right? You know, there's going to be a time where, you might be great at one job and you find yourself, great at it, but you don't like it. And it comes down to a choice of, I can do what I love, or I can do what's going to pay me better. And a lot of people are going to choose what pays me better rather than what I love. And when you make that choice, you fall for the trap of gluttony. And just like all the rest of them, once you become glutton and wanting to attain more, your pride is going to feed you into with lies that you made the right choice. And then your slothfulness is going to stop you from wanting to move about in a way to get back to your purposeful life. And it's just, that's just what it is. That's just how they compound. That's just how they work together. And that's why it's not necessarily that you got to stop yourself from ever being cursed by these curseful sins, because they're not, like I said, they're not something you can necessarily do. They're character traits. They're things that rots your soul, that rots your mind, rots your actions. And um, that's why you gotta watch out for them. It's I can't. Is I can make a mistake out of pride, but it will be worse of me if I made several mistakes, or if I am just a prideful person. If I'm a prideful person, then I'm always going to fall for the same tricks. I'm always going to, it's kind of like I'm going to be insane. If I'm a prideful person, I'm an insane person. If I'm a gluttful person, right? There's nothing wrong with wanting to have more, you know. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to have two houses. There's nothing wrong with you wanting to have this, that, and the third, right? The but the issue is when you get that you put your energy, or you put your purpose attached to the fact that you just have an object. You can't take any of this with you, right? And so you bringing purpose into what has been given to you, or what you've bought, it's not gonna really make you a better person. One, and it's not gonna change the way people look at you. Two, and third, it's not gonna bring fulfillment into your purpose. And if you can't bring fulfillment into your purpose, then you're not bringing fulfillment to your life. And again, it's gonna hurt in the long run It might not hurt immediately because that dopamine, or that amphetamine, or whatever it is, that chemical that goes off in the brain when you're happy. Um, it's gonna hit you when you buy that object. It's gonna hit you when you buy it. I know everybody probably bought an object and they're like, man, I can't break the habit, and they get it, or as soon as they buy it online, and you're like, damn, why did I buy that? Do I really need it? You know, that comes from gluttony. That comes from a lack of discipline within yourself, and being disciplined about your purpose. Um, Money isn't the biggest thing in the world. Well, let me rephrase that. Money is very important, but not being able to control your money spending habits, yeah, it definitely is gonna harm you. But on the same tit for tat, if you can't control your money business habit, then you probably can't control how well you take care of yourself. All that stuff, it reflects on each other. It's connected. You know, if you're willing to spend your money on anything, then I'm pretty sure you're willing to give your time to anything. And giving your time to anything or anyone can be more harmful to yourself than you being more selective on what you give your time to and what you give your money to. It's important that you know why you need this object, or why you're going to get this object, right? I spoke on it earlier in the other video that I need that Mustang, that new Mustang. Why do I need it? Because I love that car. No, why do I need it? Well, it's pretty simple. It's bringing solace into the universe for me. If I can accomplish that, buying that Mustang, getting that Mustang, then the 7-year-old Damien will be able to smile, because it was him who saw that Mustang and said, I'm going to have that someday. Sometimes that's just what it is. Am I going to love the Mustang? Yes. Am I going to love dropping that top down? Yes. Am I going to enjoy people looking? Probably, But again, like I said in that last video, it doesn't matter if you have that, if you don't have somebody to share it with. If you don't have, fulfillment in your purpose for that object. When I have that Mustang, that will give me so much more miles where I can finally go and travel when I want to. Hit the road trips like I want to. So yeah, that Mustang has purpose in my life. And that's what it really comes down to. So what's your purpose? And and it's not only lively purpose, but what's your purpose for almost everything that you're doing or dealing with? Sometimes you don't always need purpose to go out and make an action, but if it's an action that's going to affect your life, then you need to know why and what you're bringing into it. Just like in a relationship, what's the purpose of you getting into these relationships? I spoke on this earlier about men, going out and dealing with as many women as you can. What's the purpose of that? Yeah, you can say, I fucked all these women and everything like that. I have a high body count. But what's the purpose in that? Like, do you really feel fulfilled from that? Or is it what's been shoved into your face and you feel like you have to do it? Know the purpose for your actions and why you are trying to be who you are. And not only will having a good purpose or even figuring out your purpose help you as far as your future. It will help you understand your past. It'll help you understand your rooting and who you were. But having gluttony, always worrying about trying to buy the next thing or trying to attain the next thing, it's not going to help you understand who you really are. If anything, it's just going to blur it up more to the point, like I said, you're going to be, maybe an NFL Hall of Famer, and you're going to have to sit there and apologize to, your family. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, that's something I can never do. I don't want to apologize to my family for me not being around, especially when I could have helped it. But I digress. I send this with love, and I hope this video bring some food for thought. And just like all the other ones, I hope you all understand where I'm coming from, and I hope whatever time that you did spend listening to this video, that it brings some type of clarity, or bring some type of thought. That's all this is. It's about making you think. Think outside the box. I'm not an anti-church person, but I feel like the churches talk too much about the actions, and everything like that. And I'm not trying to say I'm any better than anybody or anything like that, but I feel like we need to understand not the meaning behind it, but the warnings. All these things can harm you from not only take you away from God, but it can just simply harm you, harm the character that you are, because everybody has light in them and everybody has some darkness in them, and it's okay to sometimes slip up and fall. But like I said in that first video, it's a mistake that people believe that they should be perfect or try to attain perfection. There's certain things that you should be trying to quote unquote be perfect in. You shouldn't want to be, nobody should want to live in a dirty place. I don't care what you say. Nobody should want to live in a dirty place. And if you do live in a dirty place, or if it's just a place of cluster, then you need to sit there and ask yourself, why do you have so much stuff? And do you actually need that stuff? And that's what these videos are meant for, to make you sit back and think, why? That's it. Why? Come up with your own conclusions. Because a lot of times when you come up with your own conclusions, it's probably the universe or God talking to you directly. But the hardest thing is for people to shut up, listen, and take it in. And not only that, everybody can read a book, but not too many people can apply what they read, apply what you're being told through God and through the world. Apply it and live it. But I digress. I love y'all. And again, tomorrow or in 2-3 days, it'll be a new year in 2021. So next time you see a video from me, it'll be 2021. I'll be definitely living my purpose. Trying to go get it. But I'm still going to try. And that's another thing. You got to try to end this, this year. We only got 3 days, but a lot of dumb stuff can happen in 3 days. So make sure you do everything you can to maximize this year of 2020. It's been a messed up year. I want to say RIP to my man Kobe. RIP to all those who lost their lives to COVID. And I hope everybody in the world is doing fine. Peace, love, and grace is what I hope to bestow upon you. I love y'all. And again, this is just as much as for me as it is for you. Peace.